Hello everybody, it's Khalif PvP bringing another MMO video. This time we're doing something different. We're doing a head-to-head matchup of Blade & Soul and Black Desert Online. Both these videos bring a refreshing change to the MMO genre with its own unique playstyle. So a lot of you guys have been asking kind of which of these games is better, what's so special about each of the games, especially on our Discord. So for that reason, I wanted to make this video to kind of highlight the differences of Blade & Soul and Black Desert and kind of highlight what are the new features that it's bringing to the MMO genre. Though comparing these two games to each other is like comparing apples to oranges, there is still a overall difference that I can make and hopefully point you towards a game that you like playing. Even though they're apples and oranges, they're still the same fruit. They're still a fruit, right? So I can make a comparison and say, you know, based on these analysis, this game is more enjoyable if you like this, and this game is more enjoyable if you like that. So let's get started as to my analysis of both these games. So to compare the two games, we're going to look at a couple aspects of an MMO. First, we're going to look at the graphics and immersion, then the gameplay, which includes crafting, skills, endgame, and finally the conclusion. So the first one we're going to look at is the graphics. The graphics in Black Desert Online is fantastic and it's unparalleled in a MMO. It is as if you're playing a single player AAA game like The Witcher or Fallout 4. Another aspect of BDO's graphics is that it contributes to the immersion within the game. You feel as if you're living within the game. You see NPCs move around. Those are merchants. You can back up into a bench and sit down very organically. It doesn't really, there's no pop-up that comes up. You can cut trees that, you know, actually behave the way you want. You can actually hide in these trees. If you crouch, you'll be hidden from enemies. And so for that reason, I really enjoy the graphics and how immersive it is in BDO. Blade & Soul's graphics is very unique. It's not very realistic as Black Desert Online's is, but it does have its own unique flavor, which is that it's more of a almost plastic-y feel. Like there's very shiny, very anime-like, where the skin is very shiny and glowy almost. I want to add a kind of an extra video at the end here for the graphics section to talk about the character creator for Black Desert. This is one of the best character creators that I've seen ever, and that says a lot. The amount of customizability options that you have is beyond mind-boggling. You can kind of pick every single aspect of your character, your hair length, your cheekbone length, in addition to cheekbone, like the under cheekbone length, everything you can see here. All those lines that you see are customizable aspects, and that is, again, I've never seen this in an MMO. Where usually you kind of get an option to, okay, here's the face, here's the, you know, here's some length and width, scale, but never in this aspect where you can kind of customize every single tiny minute details of your character. So now let's segue into gameplay, and first up is crafting. And from Black Desert skill standpoint, rather, the crafting in Black Desert is very unique. It's essentially you have these workers that you kind of hire, and the workers does the crafting for you. You purchase a house and you convert these houses into certain crafting stations, and workers will go out of their way, gather for you, craft for you, and there's a time frame that takes for them to do all this stuff. But generally speaking, you can level up your workers so they craft more, so they can crit on those crafts more, etc, etc. And this is really awesome because that means you don't really have to spend time crafting, right? You can just go out there and explore the world, grind, do whatever you want to do, and your workers and your peons will kind of go out there and craft for you while you just sit back and enjoy all the game. In addition to this crafting system, there's a great supplementary system of trading in Black Desert, where you can kind of go from one town that you crafted certain items from and then go all the way across the map and trade it in a different city or a town for money. And the longer you travel, or the longer distance rather that you travel, you get more money out of it. But if more people are doing that route, the reward price goes down. There's a great economy built around the whole trading and crafting system. In addition to that, there's a wonderful pet mount trading system in this game, where you can breed your mounts. Yes, so you can take a female mount and a male mount and then breed them and then get another mount out of it and then sell that mount. And the reason this is very important is you can actually level up your mount. As the mount levels up, you get better speed, better endurance, etc. And then so you can take a high level mount and two high level mounts, breed them, get another high level mount, and then sell that in the marketplace. So that's again a really cool, unique feature that I haven't really seen in any other MMO. Now, Blade and Soul is a little bit different from Black Desert Online, and personally I don't like Blade and Soul's system. So what Blade and Soul does is very similar in terms of what it is, where you have somebody else that does the work for you. You hire a guild to gather and craft for you. In this game, you can get 2 crafting professions and 2 gathering professions. And unlike Black Desert Online, where you can have all your workers, go out and get multiple instances of the same resource, in Blade and Soul you can only get one at a time. As you can see from here, if I want to get logs, I can only get one type of log. If I want to get a sap, I have to wait for my logs to be completed before I can get the sap. If I want to craft a soul shard and multiple of that, I have to wait for the first one to complete before I start the other one. And because of this, it has an artificial kind of time barrier in the game that I personally really don't like. It does have a bonus where you don't have to spend a dedicated amount of time to craft, but I would much rather have dedicated time to craft if I can gather and craft as much as I want. In this game, you have to wait for the timer to go down. So now let's talk about the skills. Black Desert Online's skill system is a really unique skill system, where it's essentially key combinations that dictate your skill. What that means is essentially, for example, if you hit shift and click, you'll do one skill. If you do shift A and click, you'll do another skill. So all these combinations are what determines what skill you cast. There is a certain skills that you can kind of hot bar in, and certain skills that you have to hot bar in, that you can use 1, 2, 3, 4 to kind of cast. But generally speaking, your skills are done by some sort of skill combination. Blade and Soul, on the other hand, has your traditional keybinds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. But the difference with Blade and Soul's key combinations and skills is that it's contextual. And what that mean by that is essentially, if you're close to the target, your key sets are going to be different from if you're further away from the target. If your target's stunned, your key sets are going to be different. In addition to that, it's a very fighting game like system where each of your skills combos very well with other skills, and what it ends up happening, it's a very millisecond skill combos. You can kind of juggle people in the air, etc. So it's a really unique system for Blade and Soul. In my opinion, I had to give the skill list to Blade and Soul because, one, in Black Desert you cannot keybind your skills, and in Blade and Soul you can keybind. So if you have a Razor Naga, for example, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4 bounded. And more importantly, in Blade and Soul's skill system seems more dynamic and more action packed than Black Desert Online. Now let's talk about Endgame. Unfortunately for Black Desert Online, there is a non-existent endgame in that game. And what I mean by that is, yes, there's a couple bosses that you can spawn with a guild. There's a couple world bosses that a guild can spawn, and there's a couple bosses that you can spawn from dailies. And there's, I think, to my best of my knowledge, there's one world boss that spawns independently of those. But other than that, there really isn't much to do. If you want to do an instance, there is no instances in this game. If you want to do some sort of battlegrounds, at least the version that I played in Korea doesn't have any battlegrounds. So in this game, there's really not much to do once you hit level cap other than doing your dailies. Blade & Soul, on the other hand, has a fantastic endgame compared to Black Desert Online. Now, it's probably not going to be in the same level as, let's say, World of Warcraft is, because it has a lot of content in World of Warcraft. But compared to Black Desert Online, it outshines it by leagues. It has your 4-man content for, you know, group of 4 people. It has your 6-man content for those of you that want to get a little bit more challenging. It has your, you know, your 2-man content for a quick in and out kind of instance. And finally, it has your, I think, your 8-man content and your 24-man content for those of you that want to do more challenging content. And for those of us that like to PvP, Blade & Soul's PvP is absolutely fantastic. It's untouched in recent MMOs. The closest I think I can get to is Guild Wars 1 way back then, where, you know, you had your skill-based PvP. In Blade & Soul, it's very fighting game-like, so it's not like, oh, he was better than me because of his gear or because of some, you know, offset. It's all about skills, combinations, kind of being able to react really quickly. It's very exciting to play. So for those of us that want to do PvP, myself included, it's a fantastic end game, especially because it's not going to cost you anything. It's not a pay-to-win game where you have to spend thousands of dollars to be competitive in PvP. When you're in the PvP arenas, everything is kind of standardized and it's all about skill. So I kind of talked about all the aspects that are important to me and I think important to a lot of people: graphics, immersion, gameplay, crafting skills, endgame. So which of these 2 games would I say the winner is? And to me, I'm going to have to give the victory to Blade & Soul Online. And the reason I give it to Blade & Soul Online over Black Desert is this. Black Desert to me is kind of the specialized ice cream shop. It has fantastic ice cream. It's probably the best ice cream shop in the world. It has great flavor, but at the end of the day, it is an ice cream shop. Can you see yourself eating ice cream for the rest of your life? Now, some people that are really big ice cream fans might say, yes I can. But for the majority of us that want more, you know, diversity in our games, ice cream's not going to cut it. And what I mean by that is a lot of the things that Black Desert Online does really well, the crafting, the mounts, the trading, to me, this is not what makes an MMO. An MMO is unfortunately based on your end game, what you can do after you reach level cap. And that's where Blade & Soul comes shining through, because it has PvP, it has your end game instances, it has your guild versus guild, it has open world PvP that actually matters. It has all these things that outshines. If Black Desert Online is your ice cream shop, Blade & Soul is your 3-star restaurant. You know, it's not going to have the best of, you know, best ice cream in the world. It's not going to have the best steak in the world. It's not going to have the best, well, whatever other entree that you can think of in the world. But it does do these things really well enough that if you were to play it, if you were to go to this restaurant and eat, you can see yourself and says, yes, I could eat this stuff for the rest of my life. Yes, it's not going to be the best, but it does it really well. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the video. If you guys liked it, please do like it and comment and subscribe. If you think I completely missed it and that Black Desert Online is infinitely better than Blade & Soul, let me know why in the comment section below.